Okay.
So just if you can give a pretty high level overview, and then I'll probably, if it's something that we're interested in, what I'll probably have you do is schedule another call with some more of the stakeholders at the company, and we can do a little more in-depth overview.
Okay. All right. So let me race through this. I just started recording this, so I can put it up on YouTube and you can rewatch it if you want.
Okay, perfect.
So we have username and user and group security in here. So you have system users, then you have system groups. So it's very much like Windows security. You know, you have the groups that you can assign people to. These are all user manageable lists, and they can be, you know, you can have as many as you need. And then you get into the group permissions, and this is kind of the meat of the security. Admin can obviously do everything, but when you get into like customer, they can virtually do nothing.
Okay.
So maybe look up.
So it's very customizable.
Right, right. So that's the basic user security. You can have multiple warehouses. You know, here's the short list of warehouses in the demo system. To add a new warehouse, is this too small on your screen, or is the screen okay?
No, I can see fine.
Okay. So you just click add new warehouse, and you can, you know, I don't know. And the checkbox represents the only two fields that are really key to creating, you know, our forced entries. So now I've added a Dubai warehouse, and if we go back to the list, we'll see it in the list. Shows up as Main Street. And you can have locations, as many locations as you need at each warehouse. You know, bins, bays, racks, freezers, whatever you want to do for locations. You can print location labels. Usually the labels we customize to meet your need. Location labels can be either really big or small, whatever. Let's see, so we've gone through users, warehouses, locations. I think you'll see that the screens are pretty similar once you get used to them. Kind of the heart of the system, usually where we log into, is this item master list. You can pick warehouses up at the top. All warehouses would show you, you know, globally all of your inventory. Most users are segregated to warehouses, so they can only see their inventory. And customers can be segregated to only see items that are assigned to them, so they can't see anything else. Again, there's barcode labels here, item ID labels. You can edit the attributes of an item. I think there's about 80 attributes currently. We paged through them. So here's the reorder point information. We have bill of materials and work orders, so you can make. We have pricing. We have multi-level pricing. And we're working on some new features for a couple of customers that are going to enhance that probably in the short term, where you can have quantity price levels from suppliers. It's not in there now.
Okay.
It should be coming. And then there's certifications, which is an inspection type thing if you're doing equipment. You can save pictures of your, let me go back to the item master and just keep going across. You can assign items to only specific warehouses or to globally to all warehouses. Okay. Let me just go, I'm going to jump back to, there's a whole bunch of administrative options that you can set that make the system perform differently. You know, there's just lots of different options here, and one of them is the numbers. You can either have purchase order numbers generated automatically, or you can type them in. If the next field over here is a -1, it means you're typing the number in versus the system automatically generating it. And then here, this format column is like the mask. You know, you can, I think this was intended to be the year, so it was 2015. We could change it to 2017 now. And then the next PO number would be 00007. Okay. And so these are all the different numbers that you can either auto-assign or manually assign, and then all the different masks associated with those numbers. Let's go back to the edit master list. Most of these grids, we call these screens grids. We can change the layout of them easily, and I can jump over to some other systems. Let's see.
Sorry, can I just ask really quick? In the picture area, can you just add one picture, or can you add multiple?
You can have multiple pictures. So I was just gonna, let me log into this. This equipment parts is a guy that resells parts to heavy equipment. He's got, I don't know, 1.5 million parts in here. But he's got rebuilt, refurbished, new, used. So this is that same item master grid with a lot more columns added to it. You can see he's got different pricing in here. So this is the kind of customization that's pretty easy to do and pretty standard for us when we deploy a system. So the pictures, yeah, you can have multiple pictures. Not sure that, yeah, there's only one of one here, but you can just upload, and then I'll just pick a picture. So you can have like front, back, top, side, you know, or damaged views. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It didn't save it. Looks like there's something goofy with the demo system here. But you can upload multiple pictures. I'll have to check that out. The history just is like an audit trail. It shows you everything that's happened to that item ID by the user. So every receive, locate and move, and issue transaction gets recorded with the date and time, and then who did it. So all of the screens here you can export to Excel. So they're all basically just tables, and you know, we just export the tables out to Excel.
Okay. Do you have any integration with financial type tools, Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, things of that nature?
Yep. Both not QuickBooks Online yet, which has bitten me a couple times recently, and we need to go back and change our website. But QuickBooks Desktop and Sage 50 we have standard integrations with, and then, you know, we'll integrate with.
Sorry, you said Sage 50?
Yeah, Sage 50.
Okay.
Which is Peachtree, basically. So well, let me go make sure I go all the way across the screen. Go back. The reorder levels, that's the PAR levels again. So you can have reorder levels per warehouse, per part. And you know, this is the little grid where you can fill in what you want the PAR levels to be. Available is a calculated quantity based on these columns over here, the in stock, on order, on hold, and committed. In stock is obviously what's in your warehouse. On order is what's on a purchase order. On hold is like a quarantine kind of feature that we have built into the system. So if you designate a location as being an on-hold location and you move an item into it, it like quarantines the items so that they're not available to sell. They need like a QA inspection or something like that before they can be released. And then when they can be released, you just move them out of a hold location, and they'll go back into in stock and be available to sell. Committed is what's on a shipping order. Or actually, these are on work orders. So these are committed to work orders. So they're either committed to be consumed by the manufacturing process, or they're committed to a customer order. So you can't. We don't want to sell things twice.
Yes.
So that's kind of the underlying. And then we have purchase orders. Everything's pretty similar here. If you make a new purchase order, it starts out with the header what we call the header information. And again, these check boxes tell you what's required or not. Who you're buying the stuff from. That's all I need for this. And then you can add line items to your purchase order. Special one-time buy is if you're buying something that's not in your item master list and you're generally only buying it once. And then you can come over here in the notes and say, I need a widget. And then once you create the purchase order, you can obviously print it, and all the logos change. You can have custom logos. You can save it as a PDF. You can email it out. We do have the ability to do quotes. So if you want to send out like a request for quote to buy parts, you can do that. Honestly, Ryan, we customize this a fair amount for most of our customers to make it fit their process. We hope
even just from the very short overview, I'm very impressed, and I can see the customization abilities of the product.
So let me go back just so you can see that a little bit more. If we go to the order header here.
So sorry, just a quick couple of questions in regard to the commercial aspect. How many? It's all cloud-based, correct?
Yep, this is cloud-based, correct.
And then what is your fee structure for how many users?
Here, I'm just going to jump you right to our website so you can refer back. There's a pricing page here which talks about the different options. You can purchase it and host it on your own server, or we can cloud host it for you. We do start discounting almost right away. So, you just need to tell us, if you want to get into an enterprise unlimited user package right away, we'll probably, it'd be like a 25 users, above 25 concurrent users. We'd probably throw you into a unlimited system. And it's based on concurrent users. You can have thousands of users in the system. You're just paying for the concurrency. And there is a third option with it where you buy it, but we host it for you. That's probably not going to come into play here. So the standard, we have $80 per month per concurrent user with a 3-user limit. A 3-user minimum, so $240 to get started, basically with a pure cloud system. $3,000 to up a 3-user system that would be hosted by on one of your servers or wherever you want to put it. And then, like I
now,
said,
are you in regards to us? We would technically be almost like a reseller. Do you have partnership agreements, or is it directly to the end user?
We do have partnership agreements. I don't know if I call it. We have reseller agreements. So if you wanted to
reseller, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's usually 40%. So you get 40%, we get 60%.
And that's based on as long as they're a customer?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And then
you can see over here on the right, this is the...
And then also...
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, no, sorry, it's just... so that's the integration with Sage would be 1,380 just to have that integration?
Right, right.
Okay.
And QuickBooks is the same.
And then the other question I had is you obviously interface with barcode scanners and whatnot.
Right. Well, here, let me just, we do have...
okay. And I think I saw on our email chain you gave...
Right. We have a completely separate mobile interface that's based on jQuery. So it scales to the screen. And
okay.
You can run it on any Android or iOS device or a Windows Surface tablet. So it's a whole separate interface that runs on that. And again, we have another page here for barcoding that shows the devices. There are industrial Android scanners now. They're becoming much more popular since Windows Mobile is eventually dying. But we do support Windows Mobile as well and CE. And we do some RFID work. And any standard printer will work. Our documents are basically PDF documents that spit out. So anything with a Windows driver will work for a printer.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Ben, look, I appreciate your time. I need to get off the line, but I'm thoroughly impressed with this solution. We're about to head into our weekend. Timing's a little different, so our weekend starts on Friday, Saturday, and we're back to work on Sunday. So give me until next week, but I'll definitely be back in touch, and I'd love to set up another meeting where I can go a little more in depth with you.
Yeah, sure. Just let us know. And I'll